All right, guys, we're back. This is season 2, episode 1 of This is Moose Country, the official podcast of your Halifax Mooseheads. Brad, we're happy to be back and pretty jazzed after a great home opener on Saturday night.
What an exciting night, Saturday night in Moose Country. It was awesome. Yeah, the crowd was loud. Boys played well. It was a great night all around.
Yeah, awesome to have the team back and a great bounce back as well from a 4-1 loss on Friday on the road against the Islanders. They come back and, put on what was a great show. I'm sure it was, hearts in the throats for the coaches at times. I know there was a pretty controversial goal not controversial, I guess you could say. It was more of a tough one to watch. Poor Bresson had a tough play there, goes off his stick, and they just steal it and put it in to tie the game in the third period. But the Mooseheads prevail. What a goal by Yasu Mensinen in the shootout, and then just a snipe from Quinn Kennedy as well.
Yeah, and really all game we controlled the game.
Yeah.
We played with pace. The first game in St. John was a tough one. They came out, they were moving their feet and Charlottetown and yes, and Charlottetown was moving their feet. We were, back on our heels and didn't play well, and it seemed like all game it was, those the home opener excitement. You got 8,000 people there, 9,000 people there, and it's everyone's on their toes. Everyone was moving all game. It was a great game, and coming out of the shootout was a little the biting the nails and a little nervous, but Quinn with a great goal, and it was a great event.
Yeah, both Quinn and Yasu scored in regulation and scored in the shootout. So great games for them. Carrier had a great game as well, goal and an assist, and a lot of fun. You were a player. You were through these before, these home openers. What kinds of jitters and nerves do you get going into something like that?
Yeah, it's like different in my age. We didn't have the light shows, and if that was the case, I always say, like, with our light shows that we have now, I probably would have taken a 5-minute major right away, trying to hit someone from behind or just too excited. So it's they're incredible. I remember my first game in the Quebec League. I get migraines. I had one that day because I was so stressed out, and took a bunch of Advil, and away we go. We're ready to rock. But
you drink coffee on a game day?
I didn't. No, I didn't. It was all water and stuff like that. But they're nerve wracking, right? Especially the first one ever in the league. I'm sure the older guys, they've been through it before. Once the game starts, it's just another game.
Yeah.
You just learn to play, and it's same as playoffs, right? You're jacked up for the playoffs. Once the game gets going, obviously it's a higher pace, but it's just a game at the end of the day. But before it's like leading up to a test where you're nervous for it and you're thinking about it all day, or a presentation where you're nervous for it all day, and then you get there and you're ready for it. Yeah. But it's that anticipation all day, thinking about it, ready for it. So lots of nerves, I'm sure. And for a lot of our guys, haven't been in our rink yet, haven't even seen our rink yet. So first time actually being in the building, and then coming in, at night, and all of a sudden it's packed.
Yeah, we should mention, you're probably wondering, why are these two idiots wearing red plaid shirts? But
we didn't show up to the office today like this on purpose.
We called each other ahead of time.
Yeah.
No, these are the shirts. There's a little patch on the bottom too. It says Halifax Mooseheads that will be selling Country Night coming up Saturday night.
Yeah. That's why this is sitting here as
those
well.
Will be for sale as well. So looking forward to Country Night, the first ever one in Moose Country, Saturday night against St. John. It's back-to-back home games against the Sea Dogs Friday and Saturday.
First look at Alexis Joseph, first overall pick, so that'll be exciting.
Can't wait. Yeah. And we've got head coach Brad MacKenzie and associate coach Josh Hepditch coming up here momentarily in our first interview of the season. So can't wait to hear from them. They give their thoughts on the Sea Dogs and the home opener as well, and maybe some of your other thoughts, Brad. A lot of new faces on this team. What did you think of third overall pick Malik Letalien in his home opening debut?
New faces, but not like, we still got a lot of vets back, which is exciting. Letalien, geez, like, the guy can skate like the wind.
Yeah.
A couple shifts, he took him a little bit to get into it, I think. But a couple shifts, you're just like, he's all over the ice. He's
up the ice a lot.
First one in on the forecheck, and then first one back at the same time. Yeah. So he's, potential, he is through the roof. He's got a ton of skill. Like you said, he loves to jump up and make plays. He's gonna. I think he's gonna be a great player for us. What did you see?
I mean, the NHL mold is there, I think, in the terms of the size and the strength and the skating and everything. And I think going to be some bumps along the way in a 16-year-old season with some turnovers, perhaps. But you want him to take those chances, I think, because that's how you're going to learn and develop. And instead of just sitting back and being safe all the time, I think he's going to be an incredible player, and along with some of the others as well. Like I think Manella had some bright spots as well, and we saw Guilberto in PEI on Friday night, sat out on Saturday. It's going to be more of a process with him, I think. But no, there's a good young core amongst the 16s.
And a great move by the coaching staff. You put L'Italien with Phillips, a veteran, our captain, knows the league, knows the game. He's smart enough to, he's going to be safe when he needs to defensively. Be, right? Yeah, and he can still take his risks when he needs to, but let the kid go and let him skate up ice, and he'll be back to make sure to clean up his garbage.
Yeah, Phil had a good rush himself. I think actually got up there and good scoring chance, and we've seen him do that in the past. Kind of that once in a while Justin Barron style rush where he goes end to end, and we'll see more of that. But I think for me, the D core is the strength of this team. Right, it's so deep. You've got Justin Chiris was a healthy scratch on Friday night. He's, another great safe option. You've got Lincoln Waugh, who's hurt right now, I think 2 to 3 weeks, lower body. Yep. He can plug in at any point and help you out as well. And it's very deep on D.
As we saw last year, coming into playoffs became a massive part of our team. He was in and out of the lineup all season for Lincoln, and then 4 injuries, and all of a sudden he's
he's the main guy.
He's our fourth guy, and he plays well. He plays the game the right way. He's willing to block shots and willing to do anything for his team. So when he's your 7th D or 8th D, you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and then we got Carlos Handel, of course, uber talented Montreal Canadiens draft pick. So kind of cool to see 3 Europeans for the first time ever. Gareth McDonald had a good point there on Friday night on the road. He said, first time in history, it was 3 consecutive touches. It was Handel to Mensonen to Kulibiak, and 3 Euros touching the puck at in the same sequence. So.
And I think Kulibiak, and I think he's got a ton of talent. Loves to shoot the puck, maybe a little bit too much, but listen, that's his strength. That's his strength. So, we had, when I played, it was Marty Firk, and that guy shot the puck more than anybody I've ever seen. So, he's got talent. I think his shooting is one thing. I think his hockey IQ is, he sees the game well, makes smart plays, puts people in good areas. So I think he's got, he didn't show a ton, but when he gets the puck, he shows that he has good touches. So I think there's a ton of upside on him.
Yeah, you could feel the anticipation in the crowd on a power play. It was the far end for me. He was, set up in that kind of Ovi spot for the one timer. You'd feel everybody wanting them to get the puck to him, and then he did get one off, a good clean look, but he can wire it when he gets the shot, gets the chance.
Yeah, and it just gives the power play. You put Carrier, who's he's a bulldog, so you put him in the bumper spot. He's a shooting option. Quinn's a shooting option. Kulibiakin's a shooting option. It's it could be a pretty lethal power play.
Yeah, and going down the roster. Another player I find very intriguing this year is in terms of what could be a breakout year is Will Bent. And he had a goal on Saturday night. I mean, he's got that big frame. Yeah. I think when he goes to the net, drops the shoulder and cuts across like that's the move.
Yeah. And last year he showed glimpses. I think so far what we've seen is he is poised with the puck. He likes having the puck and he takes his time, and he's very confident once he gets it. Like that play, he's done that 2 or 3 times now, which is a goal scorer's goal. But he's, even in the shootout, he didn't score, but had a nice little move, and he's very confident in himself once he has the puck, which is good, and he loves to score goals. So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And Danny Walters coming back as 17. Yeah, he's had a strong camp, of course, and kind of played his mean style of game there on Saturday night, and maybe an ill-advised penalty one of those times, but
maybe a couple, but he's
got away with it. He's gonna make the opposition think twice when he's around, right?
I think Danny's a guy. You just throughout the year it's going to be tough, but you got to just try to find that line Play on it. Don't go over it. He did a couple times this game, which cost us, but that's his type of play. If he wants to be, successful in the league and move on, he's going to be a big man down low that's hard to play against and, scares other guys.
Yeah. I think Zach LaRue style too, played on the edge. And I think they both like Matthew Tkachuk, player who plays on the edge, but is effective. And that's, hey, you gotta have some of those guys in your team and to be successful.
Ideally, he doesn't have, I think it was 47 games suspended in his career. That would be,
Zach?
That would be good for us. But Zach had a couple too many suspensions, but listen, he played the right way. He played hard, and teams feared him. So you hope Danny can have some of that in him.
Another player for me that kind of flies under the radar, but goes hard, works hard every shift is Emilio Santini. I think he's had a great start. The first couple of games, doesn't always get rewarded on the scoreboard, but he's in there digging. He's a worker.
And you can see the trust in Brad.
Yeah.
5-on-3, he's the one out there taking the face-offs. He looks 105 pounds. So for him to be the one in the face-off circle is pretty impressive. PK, anything in your D zone, he's the one going over for the face-off. So he's obviously very responsible on his own end and a guy that the coaching staff trusts.
Yeah. And looks small, but one of the stronger guys. I was over there when they were doing all the off-ice testing that day, and they had the grip strength, and I think he blew most people away. He was the strongest grip strength on the team.
And except for you.
Except for me and maybe Jonah LaRue.
Yeah. Strong man.
Yeah. No. So, I think it's a bright year ahead. There's going to be some bumps in the road again, probably. Much like last year, it's a similar makeup of a team, still young. No Russo, no Steinman, which we were spoiled with, but I think it's a good opportunity for Bresson to kind of take the reins and again, ease Nick Circa in here. I expect we're going to see him this weekend, at least one of the games, right? So can't wait to see what he can bring to the table now as a 17-year-old between the pipes.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the strength of our team is our D-core, so that helps the goaltending. Yep. If we're keeping shots to the outside and taking away those slot plays and eliminating 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, whatever it may be, it makes it a lot easier on a young goalie coming in. I think Bresson showed signs of being a good goalie. I think
he made some spectacular stops at times, both nights.
Yeah, and I think, listen, he likes to play the puck. Yeah. That's very obvious. I think fans are going to have a heart attack with that. But that's just some people's games. There's Marty Brodeur. I'm sure there was people that would be yelling at him to stay in his net, but that's what made him good. And I'll tell you this, defensemen love that.
Yeah.
If the goalie wants to get out and make a play, that's a defenseman's dream. So they don't have anybody coming in 300 miles at them to try to put them to the boards. That's a good thing. But
maybe just be decisive with it when you do it, right?
Yeah,
and then that makes the defensemen not hesitate themselves.
And a lot of that too, that's
practice.
That's something that Brad will work on, that, making sure he has options.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the play in his defense, I know it didn't look good, but he didn't really have many options to make a play. So, and it just so happened Charlottetown had two guys on the forecheck. He saw the guy coming at him, which, that's who you're trying to make the play around.
Yeah.
Didn't realize there was a guy coming behind the net, and then that stuff happens. But
Charlottetown known to forecheck a time or two.
Yeah. They are heavy on the forecheck. They're going to be a good team. They got some guys that are still away at camp. So once they come back, they're going to be a good team.
Yeah, speaking of guys away at camp, Liam Kilfoyle, obviously a very key component of this Mooseheads team who we've not seen yet this season. It was sent back from Detroit Red Wings camp on Saturday, so he'll be in the lineup this weekend for the Herd. Be great to have him back wearing a letter this season. Again, Brad MacKenzie and Josh Hepditch coming up. They'll talk about naming that leadership group and the thought process that went into that. But obviously, Killer was an alternate captain last year, is again this year, and he's going to be a big part.
Yeah, very exciting for him. You go there as a walk-on. You're not drafted, and probably pretty disappointed at that point in the summer. So for him to kind of take that and turn it around for as motivation, it's pretty exciting. So he gets there. He obviously has a great rookie camp and stays for main camp. I'm
Yeah,
sure
to go to main camp's cool, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're in now with all the NHLers. You're seeing Patty Kane do his thing, and you're seeing some, very good players see their process and see how they, act on the ice and act in the dressing room and things like that. It's only going to help his leadership and his on ice game. So it's very exciting for him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see him in action this weekend again, Friday and Saturday night. St. John in town with a team full of great young stars. So two teams kind of very similar right now that are on the up and up in the Maritimes division. And I think for now, maybe we throw it to Brad and to Josh Hepditch and check out this interview. It was great having them in. All right, we're joined today by Mooseheads head coach Brad MacKenzie and associate coach Josh Hepditch. Happy to have both of you here. Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having us, Scotty.
Well, I know every day is a busy day for coaching staff, right? Give us a rundown of your typical day, like what today includes, in fact, for the coaching staff.
Yeah, so a day like today, we had yesterday off after the weekend. So today will be kind of a recap of the weekend. We'll be going through a lot of video, a lot of clips, a lot of meetings with individual players today as well to go through the past weekend, and then obviously start our prep. It's one of those weeks where you get the same opponent twice here with St. John. So a lot of this week will be looking back at their past weekend as well and preparing for them.
Now, Brad, newly named head coach, just take us through the process. You worked closely with Andrew Lord. Take us through the process of actually becoming. Hearing Lordo was leaving and then actually taking over the reins.
Yeah, to be honest, it happened fairly quick. Lordo gave me a call that he got the call from Ontario to go join them. At that moment, right away, he said, I think you're going to be considered as a chance for the next guy. Just be ready for a call from Cam, from the owners. And that was on, I believe, a Monday. And on Tuesday, I had a call with Cam, with Peter, with Shane. And Thursday, we had another follow-up call and kind of given the job at that point. So happened very, very quick, I'd say.
Quick week. Yeah. Exciting week.
Yeah, and for your first time rookie head coach in the Q, but not your first rodeo. You've been a head coach before, coach of the year with Grand Falls in the Maritime Hockey League. What kind of learning experience did you have in the junior A ranks?
Yeah, I think it was a really good move for me to, I left the Charlottetown Islanders. I was an assistant coach at that time, with the goal to eventually be a head coach here in the Quebec League. So I felt like at that time I needed to go get some head coaching experience at a lower level under my belt. Went there. Probably thought I was going to be there for more than 2 years, to be honest. And then Halifax called. But you go to the Junior A League, and Hep could speak to this too. He did the same thing. And you really have to wear a lot of hats at that level. So you're doing everything, and you get really good appreciation for how an organization operates from top down. And that's something you can take with you. Feel like when I came back to the Quebec League, after being a head coach, I was a better assistant coach. I had more appreciation for what the head guy has to do, and kind of always had it in my mind the last few years that hopefully I'll get a chance to be in this seat at some point.
So you're coming over to work on the business side this week? Is that we'll do a little swap here?
I've been there, done that. I think I'll stick to the hockey right now.
Hep, you came from UNB, had a great stint in Moncton before that. Just walk us through, how you got the job and how that all came to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, similar to Brad, it went fast. Just at home one night, kind of out of the blue, Brad gave me a call and said, he was getting the head coaching job and that they were looking to fill a position. And obviously excited for the call. I've known Brad over the years, coaching against him and being around the same league, and super excited for the opportunity. Things went pretty fast. Once it got going, things went pretty fast, and I was really excited to get back in the league. Like I said, UNB was a great organization, and probably learned a lot, going from junior to the university level and then coming back to junior, but excited to get back in the league, especially with the organization.
Was there a connection before? Like, you coached against each other? Have you coached together before, or just
seemed like a pretty easy call for you to make?
Yeah.
Like you knew the guy you wanted.
Yeah, it's interesting because we never coached together. Obviously, you have a lot of mutual connections through the league and see each other at the draft and things like that. But happy to reach out even a couple of times, even just throughout the years of, what's going on in the league. And when Hep left, we ran into each other a couple of times down here in Halifax when he was over for games against St. Mary's or Dalhousie. So he was a guy I always kind of had in mind as knowing that he might want to get back into the Quebec League at some point in time. And, when I was leaving, I was going from coaching the defenseman for the last number of years, going into the head coaching role. Hep had done that that was his position. He was coaching the D for years in Moncton, did a really good job with it. I've always coached the penalty kill here the last number of years, and Hep's run the power play. So it seemed like a really easy transition. I could keep going with the penalty kill, take over the forwards a little bit more, and have Hep come in and run the D.
Yeah, and you were both defensemen as players, right? So is it a similar mindset, I guess?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of similarities in terms of overall hockey philosophy too. When we talked, like he said, it was quick, but we did have a chance to talk about our beliefs and philosophies of the game, and we both see it a very similar way.
Now you got the both of you obviously on the same page. You got Morgan McDonald and Charles Grant. Just how easy is it going over there with such a cohesive group?
Yeah, well, number one, it's really important that your staff has to be together. We all get along. We have a good time together. We all see the game in a similar way. And then beyond that, you look at the rest of our staff, and with Colton and Josh and Benji and Lucas, we feel we've got a really good team over there.
Yeah. How many PEI guys we got?
Too many.
Poor French guys can't understand what's going on.
And you're a New Brunswick guy. You spent playing career in Moncton. You coached in Moncton, the UNB. Any hesitation to come to Nova Scotia?
No, not at all. I mean, I was very fortunate, obviously, to be with Moncton for the number of years, but coming into Halifax and the Mooseheads, and coming in as an enemy for so many years, you know what it's all about. So when you're on the other side of it, obviously it's very thrilling. Super excited. You see out the home opener the other night how much energy the fans have and how much they bring. So pumped to be here. Yeah,
let's talk a bit about the home opener. Your thoughts on how that went? I mean, it was a thrilling one to watch from a fan standpoint.
Yeah, we tried to keep it thrilling for the fans.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Who wants a blowout?
Yeah. No, it was, really, really exciting night. It doesn't matter how many times you've been in the building. Home opener is always exciting. And the new players, you can talk about it, but you have to experience it. Our game, I thought our guys, really nice effort and bounce back from the night before. Felt like we really dominated most of the game, and then, like I said, it did become thrilling. There is some moments, some adversity that happened throughout the game, and to do it in a shootout was pretty cool.
And Hep, how was it actually being on this side for the home opener with 8,000 people yelling at you?
It was good. It was good. It was really, really exciting. Like I said, great energy in the building. Nice to be part of. There's definitely parts of the game that you get lost in it a little bit, but like Brad said, the game was so up and down that we were into it, and it's always nice to learn from a win.
Yeah, hot start for Yazoo Mensonen. Both goals in both games, but your reactions to that shootout goal, because it kind of had us with drop draws, I guess, up in the press box.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about the week before. We looked back at last year, and we had so many overtime and shootout games. It felt like, and they're big points. And so you always assume, who are your guys, but we wanted to make sure in practice we actually had a chance to go and watch some shootout stuff. And I don't know, he must have went 7 for 8 in practice.
Oh, wow.
And different moves all the time.
Moves,
so he's a guy that you probably right off the hop wouldn't have had on your list, but after that we quickly bumped him up.
So he's on the list next time too?
Yeah. I would say he's still there. You go into the dressing room after, there's a great little Moose Trash clip. You're getting the puck. How does that feel for a first-time coach?
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad we didn't have to wait too long. You mentioned my time in Junior A. I think we lost our first 6 games, so it took me a little while to get my first one there. But yeah, nice to get it. And even coming from Philly, he's our captain, but Philly and I have been together, for the last 4 years, so that was pretty cool too. Yeah,
let's talk about the leadership group. Just recently named Phil the captain, and Quinn Kilfoyle and Ty Fair the alternates. How did that decision come about for you guys? Was it easy to come to that standpoint, I guess, the decision to name those guys your leaders?
Yeah, I think it was, I'll talk out of both sides of my mouth here, but it was easy in a sense that those 4 guys are very well deserving. Difficult because there's some other guys that could easily be wearing a letter as well. But I think we have a nice blend, a nice mix of guys. You even look at, you got 2 forwards in that group, you got 2 defensemen, which is good for your bench. You've got guys with different experiences, different demeanors. I think when you look at Phil as the captain, he's a guy that's really emerged throughout the last couple of years as a guy that's more and more vocal and take charge, does things the right way. And he's also a guy that has lots of different experiences. You go through a league final, a disappointing first round exit, an exciting first round underdog. So you can kind of draw from all those experiences.
Yeah, kind of done it all, right? I think you had a good point in that video that came out talking to the team and saying, you might not be wearing a letter, but everyone has a role. Everyone is a leader on this team, right?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, for all the guys, it's about how do you contribute to the culture every single day. And you know, for some guys, it might be you only feel like you're comfortable to lead one or two players, but if that's what you're doing, that's still contributing to the culture. And other guys, like the ones that we mentioned, are going to have a bigger role on a day-to-day basis and be a little more in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Now, Brad, you've been around for a couple of years. Hep coming in, what is it that excites you most about the group coming in here?
Well, you know, you try and learn as much as you can before you get in here. And obviously talking to Brad and looking at the group, the age of the group is exciting. You know what I mean? They're young, but they're energetic, and you know, there's a lot of positives in their game. They're kind of on the upswing of where we're going. And then, you know, talking about Brad as well, you guys said that he got his first puck. That's exciting for me. You know what I mean? I've never been the opportunity to work with, you know, like a young coach like Brad, who's up and coming and so deserving. So you really want to support him and make that happen. But the group in general, you know, you can see their trajectory and where they want to go. So it's happy to get in, like, you know, as we're going up that upswing and be part of it.
7 seasons with the Moncton Wildcats on their bench. Who are some of the people that you learned from, that you take experiences with you now that you worked with along that time?
Well, I was fortunate. I had some great coaches when I was there. Darren Rumble was there for a long time, had a great career, NHL defenseman. So learned a lot from him. We were together for a few years. And then John Torchetti came in. He was there for a short stint, but very, very smart coach. You know, guy that came right from the NHL. Yeah. So you're kind of learning firsthand from that. And then Dan Lacroix was... me and Dan had a really, you know, good relationship. He was my coach when I was in Moncton. Right. So to come back and then coach with him and kind of, you know, it's always nice when you know somebody, you know, it makes it a little bit easier. The cohesiveness is there. So working with Dan for the last number of years as well was really good. And another guy that was in the NHL and have that experience. And it's nice to see different coaches and kind of pick their brains and, you know, take different parts of their game and kind of add it to yours.
Yeah.
Now, from last season, the series against Drummondville into, you know, and Rouen, but then coming into this season, what's the biggest change you see from the team?
Well, I think just another year of maturity, right? You go through last year and so many new players in the league, right? And they're trying to find, you know, where they fit in this league. You know, one of the things you always talk about is almost every player that joins this league is coming from being the best player on their team. And so there's an adjustment there to find a role on a team. And you come back another year, you're more mature, you understand it better, you know what the league's all about. But you also, I think, see a sense of belief in the group because they've seen, you know, how to win at this level. Even if it's, you know, one playoff series, but you have a group of guys that have gone through, you know, an underdog type mentality where belief, team first, all that stuff can lead to success at this level.
And you know, last year it was a young team. This year, technically even younger, right? Only one 20-year-old on the roster. Do you see that changing at any point down the road here, adding any more 20s?
Is Cam? No, that I think we really are happy with our group. We like what we see here right now, and we want to give these young guys the opportunity to keep showing us the growth that they're making. You know, I think we're a young team, but we're not an inexperienced team. Like we just talked about, a lot of these guys, even at 17, still have 64 games plus 2 playoff series under their belt, which is a lot of great experience.
Yeah.
Maybe more of a Chucky question here, but we had, you know, Russo and Steinman last year. 2 great goalies. And, you know, we have Nick Circa, who's very young, and Owen Bresson, who's, you know, I don't want to say unproven, but he's a short stint in the queue. What do you see from him so far, Hep?
I see a high work ethic, a high battle level. Obviously, you know, you learn little tidbits about them before you get in here. So it's nice for me to come in and have an unbiased opinion, but you can definitely see it in practice. He's a guy that battles hard every day. He's learned. His attention is there every day. Chucky obviously has got a great pedigree behind him and working with great goalies. So he's going to do a good job from him. But no, you see a lot of really good things, a lot of positives, and he's just kind of waiting for the opportunity to prove himself, and you know he'll get that opportunity.
Speaking of goalies, Chucky, goalie coach, another guy that you guys have a close tie with. They both work with Joey Perricone. Going to put you on the spot. You got any great Joey stories?
I don't know if we have enough time for that.
We miss Joe. He's in California now.
Joe is a great guy. Obviously, we worked together closely in Moncton for a few years and stayed good friends. So he was I don't want to say he was like my agent when I came here, but he basically was. He gave me a lot of inside information before I got here and kind of helped me out and helped me get settled.
Can you do the high-pitched voice that he has?
No, I cannot. No.
Yeah. He's one of the best, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You were a defenseman, an assistant captain in Memorial Cup for the Moncton hosting in 2006. What are your memories of that experience?
Super experience, really good team. Obviously, to be the host team to go in through the front door was huge for us. To kind of win the President's Trophy at that time, was called the President's Trophy, and then kind of going through the front door as a host, and then get to the finals was amazing. It was a really unique year because our team changed so much throughout the year. Obviously, right from the start of the year when Ted Nolan came in as the head coach, and a lot of changes. I didn't think I was ever going to be there as a 20-year-old. Like, if you look at the pedigree of players that was there at the start, and then it just ended up that some of those guys signed in pro and ended up staying. And I found a way, even at Christmas time, we had 4 20-year-olds, but to find a spot in the second half was exciting for me to finish my career there, obviously at the Mem Cup. But I was in the old Coliseum. It was packed. The Mem Cup was a great experience throughout the whole city, and a lot of good memories.
I was there covering it for radio. A 25-year-old at the time came up from Halifax, and what I remember is how good Alexander Radulov was for Quebec.
He was very good, especially in the finals. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Trying to stay on the positive side of things here.
Yeah. Who else in that tournament gave you a minus?
He was one. I think it was the first shift to the finals.
Yeah. He was a beast. Yeah, I wanted to say, too, of course, our thoughts are with Wildcats owner Robert Irving right now. We hear the recent news of him undergoing surgery for cancer and going through some treatment right now. And one of the great owners that we have a good relationship here in Halifax. So, our thoughts are with Robert Irving and the Wildcats at this time.
And you have a great relationship with him, you were saying on the way down.
Great relationship. To have him as an owner, as a player, and then for 7 years as obviously the owner, but on the business side of it and working with him, just a true gentleman. Always fun to be around. Does anything for his team and for his players, and our thoughts are with him. Hopefully he stays strong, gets through it, and he's a great man.
Switching back gears, we have a couple owners who will also do anything for our team here. We got a new dressing room coming. Have you guys been through it? Have you had any input on it through the process? Where's that at?
Yeah, it's really exciting to see it kind of coming together here. Over the last couple of years, there's been the talks about it and then the initial designs, and we've always had a little bit of input as a coaching staff. What do you guys need? What do you think? And now to see it actually coming to fruition is really exciting, and was through it actually just a couple of days ago, and it's getting close. So we're excited when time goes to open those doors.
Yeah, what is the general timeline on that right now?
I think we're about a month out or so.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact timeline, but things are coming together, and now it's a matter of just putting the last few pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, can you tell fans maybe some of the highlights of what that facility will include?
Yeah, I think, it's a home base for us when we're downtown. We still have the practice facility over in Dartmouth where we spend most of our time. So we really wanted to have a spot where, the dressing room is beautiful itself, good recovery rooms with, the ability, steam rooms and saunas, and a nice player lounge for them pre and post game, nice offices for coaches and support staff and all that. So I think it's a beautiful facility. It's got everything that we need for the games that we're down here.
Yeah, the old one had character, but this one's going to be much more functional, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I shouldn't say we'll miss the old one, but there's a little character there. Yeah, but I think they've done a good job to make sure they capture the legacy of the organization, and still have everything that we need, and very functional dressing room.
Yeah, I'm excited selfishly for our content purposes, being able to shoot things in there. And it'll be nice and shiny and new and pretty.
Yeah, it'll be tough when you guys come over and Scotty's in the sauna.
Well, I think the business staff will get to use the sauna more than us. You guys are just across the road. But
we talked briefly about the Simons. We know that they have everything. They love the team. They're dialed in. They want to win. How exciting will it be? Now that we're on the up trajectory, how exciting will it be to see a win with them?
Yeah, extremely. I mean, I think that you can't ask for more support from your ownership group than what they've been giving us, right? And so anything that we need, any resources that we can have to help us to be successful, they're there to provide. And they always talk about family first and trying to make sure that this feels like a family at all times. So it'll be nice to see the steps that we're taking kind of come to fruition here as we move forward.
So we're coming off a nice win on Saturday night at home. Got 2 coming up at home Friday and Saturday. Country night, as we said, with these plaid shirts on Saturday. St. John Sea Dogs coming to town for both of these games. Another team that's a young, talented roster, including the first overall pick, Alexi Joseph. They had Garrett and Rozzy from last year, among others. What do you know about this team, and what are you working on this week to prepare for them?
Yeah, very very similar to us in a sense. You just mentioned it. Another young up and coming team, a lot of skill, a lot of offensive ability. You mentioned a few of the names there, and they're a team that, you know, they're always a team that plays with some structure and works hard. And I think they're going to be a good test for us this weekend.
Want to get into some quick hits?
Yeah, take her away, Brad.
Oh, wow. Okay, last year this was Scotty's segment, so I've never read these before. So
Hand the reins.
Well, I've never done one of those before. We're in the same boat.
just as quick as possible. First answer off the top of your head. Most talented player you've played with or coached? Both.
Keith Yandel.
Keith Yandel.
For me, it's not played with because I didn't have a great playing career. But I'll give you. Can I give you two?
Yeah.
For me, it was Daniel Sprong in Charlottetown
Very
and Jordan Dumais here.
Yeah.
Jordan Dumais, very skilled. Funniest player you played with?
You have to go
Or
Keith Yandel again.
Keith, yeah. Actually known as the NHL funny guy.
Yeah.
So
Again, I'll go to the coaching side. I'll probably say Stephen Davis.
okay.
Easy. Yeah.
Hardest coach you played for?
Ooh, tough one. I'll go with Ted Nolan.
Once again, I'll leave the playing questions to
Yeah.
there.
You just say Lordo. Worst Q rink to play in or coach in? Yeah.
Worst coaching room.
Oh,
There's
geez,
got to be
tough
some
one.
bad ones.
I'd have to go with probably Bakehomo for me.
Once again, you guys are trying to really put us under the gun here. I like them all. I like them all. They all have character.
Yeah,
that's right.
Favorite playoff series memory?
Back, I'd have to say for me as a player, my second year we played against Gatineau in the finals in the old Gatineau rink, and that was their year. They were going back to back Memorial Cups, so great series.
Who would they have had?
They would have had Talbot, Ranger. Who else? Yeah, they had a lot of them. They were good.
Pretty good squad.
Yeah.
Last year, Drummondville was obviously very exciting, but I will say the year before against Sherbrooke,
Okay.
come from behind down 2-0.
Yeah, that's awesome. Favorite team to beat in the queue?
Used to be Halifax.
I'll answer it first and go Moncton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Halifax is a good one, but I'll tell you, it's tough to win. Every win's a good one. You got to enjoy them.
Yeah. Favorite teammate you've ever had?
Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, funniest would be key. I would say my favorite one would probably be Chris Gaudette, who ended up being the captain of the President's Cup team we played for, just because I was with him for so long. We were together for 3.5 years. He spent his whole career there as well.
Yeah, again, tough one for me.
Hey, you're
here.
going.
Yeah.
Hey, you still got good teammates.
pick a
Yeah, I
favorite
have
player.
great teammates. I'm trying to think through some of the guys, but
Or coach with.
even guys I've coached
Yeah.
with, you know, I've been lucky and fortunate. Lordo and I got along really well. I go back to coaching in Charlottetown with Jim Holton, great guy, and you know, every coach I worked with, Sly and Midge, I got along good with all the coaches and support staff as well. So
Most underrated player you coached?
I'm going to say Jonathan Asperl.
I'm gonna I'll go back to my Charlottetown days and say Keith Getson, who ended up coming over here in Halifax and had a big role, but certainly a heart and soul type guy.
Bridgewater guy.
And to finish it off, favorite bar or restaurant in Halifax?
We don't go to those.
Yeah. Restaurants. Yeah.
I'm from the island, so I know this is more my wife and stuff, but we're still stuck to the island roots. We go to Gahan House and nice little spot in downtown here.
Not Hunters.
Yeah.
No, we're talking Halifax.
Geez, I haven't explored a whole lot since I've been here because Brad's made me work.
Yeah.
But,
Subway.
Yeah.
Subway at RBC.
Geez, I'm trying to think. I'll
You
have
done
to
any
go
with the family? With Simons?
Opa. Is that what it is? Opa,
Okay.
where we went for the team meal. It was a
Yeah.
good spot.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks so much for coming in and doing this. We'll let you get back to your busy day and go get them this weekend against St. John.
Perfect. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was Brad MacKenzie and Josh Hepditch. Great to have the coaches in with us.
Yeah, no, it was great. They're obviously hard at work over there, so happy to get any bit of time with them.
Yeah, that's right. They're dialed in right now and not giving us too much, but that's
Not
all
giving
right.
us too much. Yeah.
We'll hear more later from them. But
Yeah.
hey, if there's anybody that you guys want to see on the season this year with the podcast, please let us know in the comments, whether it's alumni, or current players or coaches, we do want to hear from you. Your input is very valuable to us. So please let us know in the comments below. And if you're watching us on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads, please make sure you like and subscribe, hit that bell button, and you'll be alerted when the next episode's coming out.
And if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, make sure to subscribe, give us 5 stars, and leave a review.
All right, we got the Mooseheads and Sea Dogs coming up Friday and Saturday night. Country night on Saturday. Can't wait to see you there. See you next week, guys.